This episode marks the beginning of Phase 4 of the Hunter exam, and man, I am stoked. I am excited. This is really some good stuff.
Hunter, Hunter, Episode 14, Hit the Target.
Well, hello, my brothers and sisters and prospective hunters of the Nerd Nation. I, as always, am Jim, here to bring you another review on another episode of the tantalizing, test-driven, so far, tale of Hunter x Hunter 2011. Now, the last episode, of course, was really just it was a recap episode, and I just kind of put together a video that had my impressions and thoughts and kind of a character breakdown of what I have seen so far through the first 12 episodes. Excuse me. But so the last real episode, episode 12, left us, of course, with the 24 prospective hunters, the contestants that were still left, finishing Phase 3 of the Trick Tower, and of course, we know we're going to be going into Phase 4. So that's where things left off, and that's where it picks up. It picks up immediately after that. They're in the round room still. The door opens up. They see light. Nobody has been outside for 72 hours now, because even the contestants that, of course, were very quick through the Trick Tower still had to wait in that round room for 72 hours. And for those of you that have never had to spend 2 or 3 days locked into a small area, whether it's a house or a room or whatever the case is, or a jail cell, I'm not judging, but ultimately, it's not fun. The time seems to go by much slower. So they all wind up coming out, and we go in. Then the Phase 3 examiner, he goes and he congratulates everybody on Phase 3, and he says Phase 4. First of all, we get a couple of really important pieces of information here. Nobody knew up to this point, at least I didn't, and they hadn't revealed it in the show, how many phases there were to the exam this year. We find out that there's 2 more phases left. Okay, so we're gonna have Phase 4 and Phase 5. So he points over his shoulder, right, out in the water there, across the water, to an island. And he says, this is so-and-so island, and this is where Phase 4 is going to take place. So then he goes and he says, if you remember, everybody has like a name tag that they wear, a badge that has their number, their hunter entrant number or whatever. And they're all wearing these, the 24 contestants. He tells everybody to come up, and there's this box, and in this box there's a card with a number on it. And everybody has to come up in order of how they completed the Trick Tower. So we get to see, of course, Ahsoka was the first one, and the creepy Hellraiser guy was the second one, and the cool bald ninja that looks, strangely like somebody from maybe like Avatar, The Last Airbender. He comes out, he's the third one. Everybody goes through, they take their cards, and they're wrapped, and he says, all right, listen, now go ahead and unwrap your cards. And everybody's got a number on the card, right? And he goes, that's your target. So, and he goes, everybody starts pulling the numbers off of their chest because nobody wants to be able to identify each other, right? They started out with, 405 contestants. Now it's down to 24. And certainly, a lot of people didn't think to memorize each other's numbers, right? So nonetheless, everybody has a number. They get a number, and this magic box recorded it. And the way Phase 4 is going to work is that they're going to drop these people off on an island, right? On this island. And they're going to be there for a week, okay? And I really like how this one's designed, right? The deal is that at the end of the week, to move on to Phase 4 and complete it, you got to have 6 points, right? Well, how do you get 6 points? Well, your badge that you have, your badge, your number badge, is worth 3 points, okay? If you can retrieve, by any means necessary, stealing, killing, whatever, if you can retrieve your target's badge, the target number that you had on your card that you pulled, you get 3 more points. So the simple thing is, well, just don't get mine stolen and steal somebody else's. But we know it's not going to be that simple because they have a week on this island, right? Hiding and fighting and ducking and dodging and diving and dipping and dodging again. And I finally got the 5 Ds right, I think. There might have been 6 even. But nonetheless, though, it is really cool how it's set up, because then if you wind up grabbing another person's, because for instance, if you get number 246, but you don't know who 246 is, right? But you just happen to be hiding in a tree and you see some other dude coming up unawares, you can go and kill his ass or steal his badge, but if it's not your target, you only get 1 point. So you can get your own badge stolen from you. You can, get your targets and then still complete. You can get yours stolen from you and not get your targets, and as long as you get 6 more badges, then you'll be good to go, right? Well, that's kind of like a 7. 6 more badges, you'll be ready to go. The point is you have to end with 6 points, right? So obviously, anybody who does the math, out of these 24 contestants, there won't be any more than 10 or 12 at most that make it. And again, this is by any means necessary. You want to drug the guy, trank him, shoot him, strangle him, kill him, rob him, whatever. You can do that. We're going to drop you off on the island for a week and tell you, and see you later, right? So everybody gets on the boat and they travel across over there, and you kind of see everybody talking a bit and whatnot. And it's neat to see because you see Kurapika and Leorio, and they're talking back and forth, you know, about if they were each other's target, and then it winds up coming out that they're like, no, you're not my target, no, you're not my target, you know. And then we go and we find out when Killua and Gon talk, they wind up showing each other their numbers, and Killua remembers the number 99 that Gon has is actually Hisoka. So now we know that this is going to get real interesting, because Hisoka is one of the baddest mother you-know-whats in the contest as far as I'm concerned. So Gon's got to figure out how to go and beat him, which he can't, he knows he can't do right now, or steal his badge, you know. So then I like it too, because when the boat docks, right, they get to disembark one at a time, but it's 2-minute intervals. So Hisoka gets to go and gets a 2-minute jump on everybody else, and the next guy goes and he gets. So basically what it is, it's giving those early completers of Phase 3 an advantage to go off, to hide, to scope out the island, to whatever they're gonna do, you know. So really the rest of the episode, though, for me was kind of boring and fillerish. As they all kind of disembark and get off and wish each other good luck, you know, our four kind of, I guess, heroes, you would say, you know, our four main characters that we see. The rest of the episode focuses on Gon trying to figure out how he's going to be able to steal Hisoka's tag. He knows he can't beat him in a one-on-one fight. We do see a cool thing where this one younger looking guy with a bow and arrow actually winds up, you know, shooting the bow and arrow at his target. His target like senses it, has like a sixth sense, and turns and only gets, you know, just lightly scathed, right? But the arrow had some poison in it, like a trank poison that basically puts this guy down for about a week, you know. Nonetheless, though, it was kind of cool to see, because Gon, that's what gives him an idea, and he's like, you know what, I can use my fishing rod. And then the rest of the episode is basically him training, trying to catch fish and birds, and he's hitting moving targets, non-moving targets. First he starts with an apple, he's able to hook those, no problem. But then he goes, Hisoka's not just going to stand there and let me steal it, right? I got to sneak up on it, I can just stand there. I got to hit a moving target. So then he starts swinging an apple and trying to hit that. Once he masters that, he's like, wait, it's not going to be a predictive pattern that Hisoka's not going to go for me, you know, he's not going to be a dancing monkey, you know. So then he goes and he starts trying to go and hit birds and stuff like that, and he realizes that after about a day of failed attempts, and another guy that's kind of watching him from in the woods, he realizes that he needs to go, he sees them scoop down and grab their prey, their fish, right as they come up out of the water. So what he does is, instead of trying to nail them where they can go and move, he predicts and he realizes that he's going to lie in wait, and when Hisoka goes to go for his prey, his target, that's when he'll be able to predictively know where he's going to be and be able to hook him, right? And be able to hook his badge and get it from him. At least that's what he's hoping for. So ultimately, the episode was very good. I just think that the last 6 or 7 minutes of it, watching him over and over again, could have been condensed down, I think, a little bit. But ultimately, there's nothing bad to say about it. It's just, you know, it's one of those things where I'm not like this action junkie, where it's like, if there's no action, it's not a good episode. I have no qualms with it being a little slower in parts. I just felt like it was maybe dragged out a little bit too long. However, I also like the explanation and how he went and took the time, you know, because obviously this is following Togashi's, you know, work, his manga, and I don't know how closely it's following, and I've heard it does it very well, does a very nice job of it. But ultimately, I think that this is trying to reinforce how important it is, because Gon cannot beat Hisoka yet in a one-on-one, head-to-head battle, so he really had to go and master and train and figure out, of course, how he was going to be able to take his badge from him, and, you know, and just the whole planning of it and training to do it. So very cool stuff, though. Ultimately, my episode question, though, for you is, brothers and sisters, is what are your thoughts on the fourth phase that we've been introduced to? The fourth phase, and obviously the rules and the being dropped off on a weekend like this Survivor Hunger Games type island. You know, I thought it was very cool. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Feel free to hit the thumbs up, the like button if you should think that I deserve it, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We will look forward to catching all of you hunters, excuse me, in the next one, Nation.
I'd sure like to hunt her with my fishing pole. Hey, anyway, follow me over on Twitter and Facebook, and even feel free to check out my other channel if you happen to like what you see and hear and feel.